As you all, that is completely wrong because we just had a little tech snafu right before we went live where the cameras dropped and then I scrambled to fix everything, and I did fix everything in the main screen, but not in the pre-screen. So that's why everybody's names are in the wrong place. You don't have to point it out. I know, but the show
It's
must go
also
on.
wrong people.
Yep. Oh, it is all
Let's go to
completely wrong.
everyone.
Yeah, you know what? In this case, I can't fix it. We're just gonna go back to the pre-screen. We will be right back. I apologize. See y'all in just a second here. Okay, don't go nowheres. It's gonna be worth it, I promise. Valentine, is you are traversing the mist, this electrified mountain looming in the distance, which is strangely familiar. An odd sensation comes over you, and you are taken away for a conversation with your old friend, Nika. What feels like long moments alone with her snaps back into what apparently was the mere seconds in the passing of time, or whatever time even is in the mist, as you all continue to journey through. Tatiana, you notice that as you're walking, Valentine just sort of freezes for a moment as everybody continues walking and is getting dangerously close to being out of range of Nahara as you all are traversing the mist.
Valentine, come. What are you doing? We're in the mist. Nika's in the mist. Tatiana, Nika is in the mist. Nika? We have to find her. She's here somewhere, and I saw her, and she was here for a second, and Strahd has her somehow.
Desmond.
The vampire man? I guess.
Desmond, you absolutely hear that.
So what's in the mist? I feel like I heard you, but I'm gonna need you to repeat that again because I don't believe it.
Nika's in the mists, Desmond.
So
I don't know. She's not herself. I could see her, but I couldn't touch her. And she said she's with Strahd von Zarovich, and that maybe there's something I could do to get to her.
what do you need to get to her?
I think I have to find Strahd.
I will help you, of course. We must find him and we must kill him. If he is trapping Nika, if he is the one who took her, this cannot stand.
She said that he has offered to help her, but she doesn't know how. Desmond.
If he's anything like Mr. Darkon, who's to say she hasn't already paid the price? Last I remember, the last time we discussed Nika was when everybody expected that I'd killed her. And you say she's in the mists.
Desmond, I never said I'm sorry. And I'm really sorry, deeply, that I accused you of something that awful. I don't care about people very often, and I care about Nika a lot.
I can't tell you how much I care about Nika.
I believe you.
I suppose I also accused you. But As much as I care for you, Desmond, you honestly have shown no proof. I know you 29 days out of every month. That's when I know you.
Also, you don't remember my my more unleashed moments? You've met me. I'm no
Yes.
different when I'm the beast than I am now. Just, I can't talk as much, obviously. I have not lost control to the point of taking out or injuring another human in decades. Not to mention the fact that if I were going to injure anybody, the last person it would have been is Nika.
Okay.
I would have hurt my brother before her, and I never would have hurt my brother. So imagine not remembering a night and the first thing that anyone suggests is you're doing something that you would never have done to someone that you care more about than yourself. Tatiana, that was specifically for you. I feel like if anybody would understand what I'm talking about, you would. What would you do if you woke up and someone said, you killed Valentine? How would you feel?
I would feel broken. I would feel like everything was taken from me. I would feel the depths of despair that cannot be understood by anyone that hasn't felt it. And I'm so sorry to give you that feeling. I just know when you choose to be a beast, you are choosing to be a beast. And the new moon is different. And I don't know if this is neither here nor there. I know the pain. And I also know if I were to do something when I hold that cursed axe and then someone was hurt, it would be my fault in the end. And this is why maybe it is better that I don't have the axe, but I know the power that I felt when I had it that is so hard to turn away from. Desmond, you know that I care for you, and we can only find out the answers if we find Nika. And you say she is here in the mist, so we must go to her, Valentine. Yes?
Yeah. We have to find her. I promised her that I would find a way. I promise you that I will find a way, Desmond. I'll do anything. If I can take her place in whatever
Nope.
deal
I'm not gonna let you finish that.
With Strahd.
I'm not gonna let you finish that sentence because no.
She deserves
whatever
to live.
whatever she wants, whatever Strahd wants from Nika. If he is of the power that Mr. Darkon is, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do. It's already in motion.
Desmond, I got another chance.
The worst thing we do is tell the team and make it happen.
I got another chance at living, and I did not deserve it. Nika deserves it. She can have mine.
That's not a fair trade. And really,
no one is asking for this trade. We kill Strahd and none of this is necessary. Nika is innocent. She is pure. She is kind. She is good. And she is life.
Tatiana, and I just take Tatiana's hand. I know that you can smash most things. I understand that. I don't know if we can smash this. I'm so sorry.
Maybe not alone, but we have friends.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, okay? But we'll get there.
Valentine, in your mind, and for the very first time, Desmond and Tatiana, in your minds as well, you hear, you have more than friends. Do you wish assistance in liberating this Nika?
Who are you?
Did you hear that too?
Oh,
Yes. And I don't trust it because I trust nothing in the mists. Who are you?
Desmond, Tatiana, welcome to my world.
Nothing good ever speaks directly into your mind.
First of all, I take offense to that. And second of all, yes, I wish assistance in freeing Nika.
Before you go and to confront your destiny, it is time that you learn the truth about yourself.
Show me.
And hello, and welcome to the Black Dice Society, episode 15, The Device. As always, this is a Ravenloft game, which means it is a horror game. As such, there may be content and situations that you do not encounter in your standard D&D game that may be disturbing to some viewers. As always, we have a safety system in place here with the cast. I am aware of everyone's lines and veils. They have a way of letting me know if we maybe unconsciously or unintentionally trip over something. So if a scene should ever stop out of the blue, maybe even in mid-sentence, it's because somebody sent up a flag. Now, with that firmly in mind, let us meet our cast, beginning with our wonderful and flexible and resilient people from our cold open, starting with Valentine.
Hi, I'm Sage Ryan, but tonight I am Valentine. She is a reborn aberrant mind sorcerer, and we both use she, her pronouns.
And Desmond.
Oh, hi. I'm DJ Knight. I play Desmond, a human ranger, lycanthrope. And he both use he, him pronouns.
Tatiana.
Hello, I'm Becca Scott, she, her pronouns, and I play Tatiana Ergenazi, barbarian of the Bear Totem.
Brother Uriah.
Hello, I'm Mark Muir. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Brother Uriah Macabre, human cleric of the grave and worshipper of Ezra, Lady of the Mists.
Nahara.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nora Ibrahim, and tonight I play Nahara, a reborn fallen Azamar undead bardlock, and both of us use she, her pronouns.
And last but certainly not least, Finn.
Hello, I'm Tiny DePass. I play Fen, your draw Dumpier blood hunter with a little bit of the beast. Both Fen's pronouns and mine are she, her.
Excellent. As always, before we dive back into our narrative, I want to thank all of our sponsors, starting with Die Hard Dice. Custom dice sets for all of our characters were available, and then they weren't available, and then some of them came back again. So visit Die Hard Dice. The link is being dropped in chat. Use code BDS to get 10% off, not just our dice, but all the other incredible things that Die Hard Dice has to offer. As always, our TeePublic store is live. You can get shirts, bags, masks, pillows, anything you want. I rock my mug. I had the privilege of playing in person with Becca for the first time since the pandemic, and she saw my Black Dice Society mask. So I rep for her everywhere I go. I rep for all of you everywhere I go. Secret Lab chairs, again, I love mine. I spend more time here than anywhere else but my bed. It's like riding around on the couch. It is fantastic, especially if you happen to be a larger person. The XL chairs are a godsend for somebody like me, but they got them all makes, all sizes. The link is appearing in chat. All of our links are appearing in chat, like our Idle Champions code. If you put in exclam code to get a free Electrum chest for Idle Champions. Of course, we still want to give our shout out to our friends over at Beadle and Grimm's for these incredible Van Richten's Guide boxes that they sent us. We were already lucky that a lot of us had the Curse of Strahd box, which is why you saw like Nora's Taroka deck and things like that we had. There are so many incredible things inside this special edition Van Richten's Guide, so definitely think about grabbing yourself one to help bring your game to life. Unlife? Not sure. And last but certainly not least, we have our gorgeous new museum quality canvas prints that you can get. They are extremely limited print run. They've been going fast, which is happy to see. I'm actually not sure how many we have left, but a portion of the proceeds of each one of these is going to go to world builders, geeks doing good, and helping eliminate global poverty. If you type !BDS art in chat, you can check that out. And of course, we have our Patreon. It is a new month, which means we will be hosting a new bonus episode soon. We've had side adventures for Tatiana, for Nahara, for brother Uriah and Desmond together, and who knows what this month will hold. Also, early access to the audio versions of these episodes, our exclusive after show, and all kinds of other dope stuff. Now, if you all would permit me one small sideline here, that I would be remiss if I didn't say anything. One of our cast, who shall remain nameless, had a very nasty letter sent to them under the guise of advice about them and their performance, to which I would say, please keep that all to yourself in the future. This person was very mean. They used a lot of very hostile language in their message, which no matter how valid whatever they had to say may or may not have been, nobody's listening when you come out of the blue hurling insults at people. I live my life by a very simple rule. Don't say on the internet what you would not say to someone's face. And I guarantee you that person would not have said that to the cast face and would not have said it to mine. So, if you got a problem with them, you got a problem with me, and nobody wants a problem with me, and I don't want a problem with you. So let's just enjoy some D&D and have a good time. All right? All right. And with that, on with the show. Nahara, a many-legged, ferret-like creature, floats into your cell. As you look around, you're in a strange, featureless, gray space. You feel a multitude of unseen eyes upon you. What do your captors expect you to do with this?
Where even am I?
You don't know. You have no recollection of how you got here or even where you are. Just
Am I alone?
Aside from this strange creature, yes, you are.
How big is this creature?
It's like an 8-legged ferret. It's about this long,
Oh,
and it's floating.
okay. Do you speak? I feel like you might.
It just looks at you. Floating.
Great. Perfect. Can I try to send a message to it?
You can.
Do you understand what I'm saying? That even in his mind, it just sounds really loud.
There's no better way to make sure you're being understood than to raise your voice. That is everybody
Exactly.
knows that. Yeah.
Yes, it works every time.
You get, it doesn't reply to you with words. You get just a sense of expectation, very much stimulus and response. I will do a thing and I will get a treat. Like it's expecting something that it wants. But it is very much not, it doesn't reply in common. You just feel this from it.
Against every instinct I feel is right in this situation, I will go to reach out to touch it.
When you touch it, it stops floating and it wraps its arms around your arm, its little clawed legs, but it doesn't hurt you. It just like nuzzles against your head.
Oh. What are you?
You hear in your head, in a very calm and pleasing voice, "Oh, my dear, that is your dinner." Finn.
Yes.
Rainbow storms assail the heights of a mountain so tall it seems to curve over you. You're floating over a red wasteland, just one in a line of hovering beings. What else is floating with you, and where are you going?
I have no idea. And quick question: am I myself or am I my dark form?
As you look down, your hands are gloved and your body is all covered up in odd wrappings. It's difficult to tell whether you're you or not.
I call out for the others because I'm very confused and also concerned that I might start plummeting to my death. Desmond? Nahara?
As you turn to your left and right, you see other beings with pale faces and vacant eyes that don't really seem familiar to you. They don't look like humans or elves or dwarves. They're all just sort of amorphous and the same, just floating towards a very large vat that might be a mile wide that you see up ahead of you. And as they float overhead, they just drop into it with a bubbling hiss.
That's a whole lot of nope. I'm going to try to veer off this path of becoming soup.
As you feel this realization of what's about to happen kind of well up in your mind, you stop hovering and start falling. And you see yourself plummeting towards this arid, inhospitable land as the ground is rushing up towards you with certain death. Brother Uriah, you're standing in a room over a far more shallow pool. There is a figure floating before you as well. They're deemed acceptable. They're lowered into this pool where out of the ceiling, a large blue slug is being lowered down and lands on their eye and begins burrowing into their eye as the figure vibrates in the pool.
I shall attempt to help. They're in distress.
Brother Uriah, you are unacceptable. Why?
What? Who is making this particular judgment regarding acceptability?
As you feel your mind come back and awareness here, you are stuck in something, Brother Uriah. It is almost like a coffin that you can see out of, watching this scene play out in front of you.
Hello? Do I see anyone else? Anyone I recognize? Any of my friends?
On the walls of this room are other standing containers like this that also have viewports on the front of them, but you can't see what's inside. You are aware in some of them the occupants are shaking and convulsing, but you can't see them otherwise.
I shall check my own wounds. Am I still injured from the fight with Jander Sunstar, or at least his duplicate?
You realize you can't move to lift your arms in this space, but you don't feel injured, but you feel very weak. You feel like you're having trouble breathing, like something might be wrong with your lungs. Maybe that's why you're unacceptable.
I can still see this person being attacked by this blue slug, whatever it is, yes?
You can.
I shall attempt to summon a sacred flame targeting the slug to see if I can help them.
As you steel your mind on this, in your head, you hear a foreign voice as well, Brother Uriah. Oh, my dear sweet one. Your God can't help you here.
I fear you have me at a disadvantage. Who are you?
Why would I tell you who I am when you don't even know who you are?
That's ridiculous. I know who I am, don't I?
Suddenly, the six of you are standing on the bridge of an odd craft. You see there are odd semi-organic veins and circuits all through the walls. And there is a large view screen in front of you over which you see yourself sailing over a horrifying landscape. It is otherworldly at best. It is nothing that you've ever seen before, with like huge chasms that break into the landscape. It is red and barren and arid. There is a gargantuan mountain, almost beyond comprehension, that nearly occupies the entire horizon. And off to the side, you see a large spire that almost looks like some sort of horrific growth out of the land before you. None of you have ever set foot in this place, and yet you all understand it intrinsically. You know where you are. You know what this craft is. There is only one other detail. You are all mind flayers.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Am I capable of speech in this form?
Absolutely. There is a seventh person that is standing with you all on the bridge. You notice it is a royal purple with very long tentacles that hang almost down to its knees. You also notice one of you is red, the name that's somewhat meaningless echoes in your mind, Valentine. That one's Valentine. The rest of you are the standard bluish purple of the Illithid. And this long tentacled one turns and looks at you all and says, "We'll be arriving at Mount Gristle shortly. Does everyone remember their commands?"
Perhaps you could go over them one more time.
What are the rest of you doing as Brother Uriah says this out loud?
I'm trying to identify which one is Tatiana.
You understand intrinsically. Except 2 of you look different. The other 5 of you are identical, and yet you're aware that that's the one I know is Nahara. That's the one I know is Desmond. You're familiar with this, but it seems like a dream. This is the truth.
I don't know what my command is.
What do we know about the ship intrinsically?
You understand exactly what it is. You're on a Mind Flayer Nautiloid, and a Lithid Nautiloid. This vessel is designed to travel across both time and space. You all are the crew of this ship, and you have been dispatched to eradicate a group of deviants. All of you are aware of this.
I guess we should eradicate these deviants.
Yes, forgive me, my lord. My mind is in disarray. Perhaps it was someone I ate.
This longer tentacled one looks at you and says, I detected that you all seem to be in distress for a moment. Your link was weakened. And when he says link, you all are aware that there are thousands, tens of thousands of Mind Flayers. You can hear them all. And you're aware of pain that is echoing like a negative charge through your circuit. Valentine, something about that pain is intrinsically familiar to you. When you ignite, when that eye looks at you every night, it hurts just like this.
Can I sense if I am causing or receiving the pain?
100% receiving it. All of you are aware that you're receiving it.
Do we dislike it?
You want to help solve it. Yes, Nahara?
Is that thing still on my wrist?
It's not.
Just curious.
It's not on your wrist. In this place you're in looks nothing like where you were. Well, the cell walls had a similar techno-organic component to it. Brother Uriah, what you witnessed also had a similar techno-organic component, but it is not this place. And to be clear, you are aware of the personalities of Nahara, Desmond, Tatiana, Valentine, Brother Uriah, and Finn, but it is like it was a daydream. This is what you are.
My lord, something has gone awry. I sense another mind superimposed upon my own.
This would be the meddling of the High Master. It is why it must be eliminated.
Indeed.
And when he says High Master, you all know the High Master is in exile. It is guilty of the worst crime a Mind Flayer can commit, which is rebelling against the God Brain, rebelling against the Order, rebelling against the Connection. And they originally were sent away, but something that this you don't remember but you should is why you have to go now to get them, why you have to go now to destroy them.
It is most unpleasant. I can feel this thing's weakness and fear, its love for its friends. It is disturbing, unnatural.
It is an abomination that we will rectify. We will put an end to its heretical experimentations.
Commander, how far is Mount Grizzle?
He turns and looks at you and he says, You are the navigator. We will arrive when you decide.
Right, I know. I walk over to the control panel and observe the instruments.
When you look at it, it looks like a series of crystals in oddly techno-organic lumps. But you absolutely understand what to do. You absolutely know how to fly this.
I'm not ready to land it yet, so I just busy myself with the controls.
Desmond, you know that although the uniqueness, the consistency of perfection of the Mind Flayers is your strength. But you in particular are a heavy weapons expert. And you know there is a cadre of weapons here on the bridge of this vessel.
Shall I gather the weapons?
Please do.
Right.
You go over to the wall and you slide it open, and there are a system of what looks like there's a row of 6 very odd tube-shaped devices. They are long. There is an opening on one end, and there is a stick that comes out perpendicular to it that has a trigger similar to a crossbow. You are aware this will hurtle devastating amounts of energy when you pull that trigger. You have found a cadre of antimatter rifles.
This should do nicely. He gathers up like, are there multiple of them?
Yeah, there's enough for everybody to have one. There are 5. There's not enough for all of you. There's enough for 5 of you to have one.
Straps one on, just like puts it on his back, and then just takes the others to the remaining team and just, would anyone else like one of these? I think they'll do nicely.
What is my
And
role?
one over.
Yeah. She requests one. Presumably you give it to her. Desmond?
Perfect. Here you are.
I do like to watch the energy matter splatter with their effect.
Isn't it lovely?
Question, B-Dave. What, as far as I'm concerned, what is my role within this crew?
You tell me what is your role within this crew. I believe that it is your job to secure the device.
It shall be so. Commander, there is something else. It is not only this mewling thing. Something older. Powerful. I sense a connection, but it is indistinct. Vague.
Valentine. In your mind, you hear the voice of this extremely longer tentacled one, which you all know, for the record. All Mind Flayers are gifted psionicis. You all have psionic powers, and I have sent you links to Mind Flayers. That's what you all are now. However, you are aware there are 2 other kind. This red one standing here has some other sort of both magical and psionic powers. And this one with the longer tentacles is an extremely powerful psionic Mind Flayer. That is their physical marking of their increased power. Valentine, you hear in your mind, you seem lost in thought.
Observing as always.
You know we've given him every opportunity to rejoin. The High Master seems intent on his blasphemous work.
I do. I only observe what is the best course of action.
If we require the device, we may be able to use it to assist the god brain to ease its suffering.
That is all I would want.
Finn, what is Finn the Mind Flayer doing during all of this? What is her purpose on this squad?
Her purpose is to be head of the guard, to intimidate anyone that would get in our way. And after that, she holds out a hand to Desmond for the last rifle.
Of course.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
And she's basically kind of the right tentacle of the person in charge. And she's just kind of staring at Valentine and looking around at the others and doing her best to stand there looking quite intimidating, as amongst other mind flayers, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Valentine.
I was wondering if I was able to pick up what my role might be in that, if it's already been decided upon, or if that's something I would tell you.
You tell me what it is your role. You are aware, again, you occupy a different place in Mind Flayer society because of your mystical power. But you are still very much a part of the collective. All are a part of the collective and all serve the god brain.
I would like to think then that my place on this would be some kind of high-level communication. The closest thing to a political negotiator there might be in a Mind Flayer society.
Well, you are aware of the fact that this this exile, the High Master, and all the other Mind Flayers that are here are, again, those that rebelled against the Link, that rebelled against the God Brain. And the reason why exile is the primary punishment among the Mind Flayers is, again, there's nothing worse than being removed from the Link. And so it is a worse fate than death to be left alone over there and essentially prey upon each other. So it would be within your power to perhaps be able to negotiate with them when you encounter them, because they don't have the intrinsic connection that all of you have.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I would take that position of also just kind of overseeing to make sure that communication is going back to the God Brain in some capacity should anyone make a mistake.
Mm-hmm. In Nahara, what is Nahara's role here?
Nahara would be in charge of detecting any sort of deviance from the hive mind.
Perfect.
So constantly scanning.
Give me a perception check with advantage.
All right. Okay. A 17 plus probably a 1. Yes, 18.
You are aware of two things. You are aware that in both your mind and 6 of the 7 Mind Flayers that are present here, there is a hint of something else. That this odd dream that you've had frequently about being an angel or something, that all of you have been dreaming in a way that you probably should look into. That's maybe you don't want to infect the connection that you all share with external hostile forces. You also are aware that somewhere else on this ship are 5 of the God Brain's latest creations that have been sent to assist you.
I'll turn over to Tatiana and say, Commander, it would appear as though the group of us has been exposed to some sort of dream-like state. it would be wise to look into it so as not to infect the others.
Perhaps we have contracted some sickness. Should we search for the creations on this ship?
They are here to aid us, yes.
You all are capable of instantaneous communication with as an individual or as a group. The Alithids, while capable of talking out loud, when they're talking to each other, it is an ultra efficient, high-speed communication. And the 5 of them that are in the back are strange. Never would any of you be willing to admit, even to yourself, that perhaps the God Brain has gone too far in its experiments, because of course the God Brain can't go too far in its experiments. But it has done things that would have been previously unthinkable. Does anyone want to go towards the back of the ship?
Absolutely.
I would like to.
Indeed.
As you all turn to go, this long tentacled one says, "Yes, it is good that you inspect them. Make sure they are free from defect." And it just turns back and looks out at the screen as you all are sliding over this red wasteland. When you all get into the back, as you open the door, there are 5 cells in here that is a combination of what Nahara and Brother Uriah witnessed. They are enclosed, but there may be 6 by 6 with a window in the front so that you can see inside.
I look into the first cell.
When you look in there, there is a creature that is hunched over in the corner. It wears black robes with a hood, and tentacles dangle from its face. But when you reach out to it with your mind through the link, it is a part of the link, but it is intentionally almost partitioned. It's just hungry. The only thing it is thinking is that it's hungry.
I reach out to communicate with it, ask if it is feeling well.
When you intentionally reach out to it, it turns and looks at you, and it stands up and it pulls its hood back. It is one of your fellow Alithids, but it is cold and dead and pale. Its tentacles are slightly longer, and inside of its mouth are rows of very sharp, jagged teeth. All Alithids have this for the sake of your brain extraction, but these are far longer and more pronounced. You know they're a product of the God Brain's experiments with undeath. He's been routinely sending these things out of Bloodspur, out into the other worlds. But you don't know why. And it just kind of cocks its head and looks at you.
Might I make you more comfortable in some way?
I appreciate your consideration. I live only to serve. And it puts its hand on its chest and it bows. Is it time for us to be unleashed? And when it says that, in all 4 rooms, all 4 of these cells, you can see the other 4 of them just stand up and pull their heads back. There's hoods back. There's 5 of these things.
The time nears, but not yet.
And when you say that, they all sit back down at once. Apologies if we have disturbed the calm of the collective. Our hunger is significant.
Your apology is noted.
Brother Uriah, I believe you were going to say something.
I'm the equivalent of a technician, I assume, since I was securing the device and haven't been issued a weapon.
There is enough for you to have a weapon if you so choose.
I'll take a weapon.
Yeah.
But is there any sort of monitoring device for these guys, or somewhere I could get a reading on what they are? Like
the moment you think that's what you want, a panel on the wall just slides open that has a series of lights and odd symbols that you just understand. You are aware that these things possess great physical prowess. They're far more physically durable than the average Illithid. That is the one flaw. Well, I wouldn't call it a flaw in the innate perfection of the Illithid form, of course. But to facilitate the extreme mental prowess that you all are capable of, it came along with some physical drawbacks. So these things are almost expendable shock troops.
The God Brain has made you well for your purpose. It will be fulfilled soon.
We exist to serve.
As do we all.
You also all realize you're hungry too. You can contain it, but there are specimens on board this ship for you all to feed from should you choose to.
It is best that we all regain our strength before battle, I think.
I agree.
If the group finds it best.
Nahara, were you going to say something?
No, I was just say lead the way.
As you all head, again, the Nautiloid is not huge. The Nautiloid is designed to facilitate, a crew of 6 to 10 mind flayers. It usually is supported by a much larger vessel. You all know, again, intrinsically, that you've come in this small ship so that you would not be detected on your approach by the High Master and his outcasts. And as you come back into this room, there is, you have two choices. You have all manners of sentient that have been collected from all over the planes, some of which are in a state of suspended animation, and some of which are in cages separate from each other, in case you, quite frankly, want a warm meal or a cold one.
Can I...
Oh, yes, Nahar?
Can I detect their fear?
Oh, they're all terrified. Actually, some of them are terrified. Some of them are just completely blank. Like whatever will was in them has been broken. You understand that this is the mind flayer, the Illithid equivalent of seasoning, essentially, of whether they're conscious or unconscious in their relative emotional states.
I would like the most terrified one.
They are easy to locate. There is a halfling that is pressed against the back wall. That is, okay. Look, I was in Waterdeep, and I just paid the money to go down the hole to the Underdark. I thought it'd be fun. I thought I'd make a little coin. Maybe the yawning portal. Everybody's like, you should go. And I don't know. Well, what's going on here? But whatever you guys want to know, I'll tell you.
Silence.
I sort of gesture to the halfling and sort of indicate to Nahara's mind flayer.
After you. I would also like one in an agitated state. Something to silence this fool in my mind. Calls out even now.
You see there is an elf that is trying their best to put on a brave face. They are kind of in tattered rags. They're completely unarmed. But the God of Light Tear shall deliver me from this place. I fear not you or any other evil. They're afraid.
Good. Yes. Come then, shall we?
The moment you make up your mind, well, actually, I will let the two of you decide. You are aware that traditionally, the way mind flayers go about feeding is they stun the target and then wrap their tentacles around the back of their head and bite into their head and eat their brains. Would you stun your target, or would you prefer to fight with them to before you able to seal the deal?
I would prefer mind conscious. It may prove a welcome distraction from this mewling idiot.
And Nahara?
I would like to give him the illusion of having last words, just to hear him scream one last time.
As the cell doors open and you see this halfling continue sliding away, and the elf attempts to throw themselves at you to fight pitifully, as you take them and both of your tentacles wrap around their heads. And you hear the halfling, no, wait, I can help you, and the bodies fall to the floor.
Has it worked? Has it proved a distraction from this thing that calls itself Uriah in my head?
You feel the twinge of an incredibly alien sensation that perhaps these other sentients might refer to as guilt. But the joy of fulfilling your basest need for a time has drowned out his mewling.
And what of the other? The vague thing I sensed. The old and powerful.
That one is much harder to shake. But you feel no guilt there, simply a rapt fascination.
It will suffice.
While you are in here, do the rest of you choose to feed?
Once I hear,
Please go ahead.
once I hear the one who has a Uriah in his head, say it momentarily quiets this thing. I want to find a human, a brave one that thinks they can take me.
There absolutely is such a foe. There is a man that is chained to the wall and is like pulling at it. And you see his body is covered in scars and scratches, like he probably survived a number of battles. And he just like looks at you wild-eyed, but doesn't say anything.
I undo his chains.
When you unchain him, he immediately goes to swing at you punching, but just misses by a mile.
That's when I stun him and walk forward slowly as I watch the pain in his eyes.
You all see your fellow Alithid here play with her food for a moment before you see the shockwave go off, and it hits this dull, weak-witted man for a moment, and for all of his strength, it drains from his body as he and you know, in his final moments, he understands the truth all too late. Tatiana.
Now the Tatiana inside feels guilt, but also a strange sense of accomplishment.
It is an intoxicating amount of power. And you understand something now, that Power comes in many forms, and apparently you enjoy all of them. He got a fair fight. He had his chance.
Even tastier that way.
Valentine, I believe you were going to say something.
I will take one that's cold in stasis for convenience.
Any particular species or just the first available?
The first available.
You
Just kind of barely looking, honestly.
slide open the drawer, and there is a tall, yellowish figure that doesn't have a nose, that you understand are the ancestral enemies of the Mind Flayers. They are the Githyanki. And these are a delicacy to eat your most hated foes. And you understand as you open that drawer that this was packed here especially for you.
A sack lunch.
Literally. And do Finn and Desmond choose to feed?
I prefer my food after. I'll wait until after this event. And then feast.
Perfect.
Illithid Fen is looking for someone who might give her a bit of fun before she eats.
The last one that looks like they have any real fight in them is an orc, a towering thing that has just sort of been in the back of his cage, just sort of kind of on his hands and knees like he's waiting to pounce. And he says something that you understand is essentially, "Come on! Come on!"
You're feisty. I'm sure I do the and I just bare some of my teeth, almost like if Fen was baring her fangs, and enter the cage.
And do you stun him or do you give him a chance?
I'll let him think he has a chance.
He also swings and gets probably closer than you would like. You kind of feel his knuckle slide off of your cold flesh, but he's right there in front of you.
I stun him and then just, instead of doing normal illithid feeding, I like sink my teeth into his neck first to drink before I go for the brain.
Nahara, you absolutely clock that odd idiosyncrasy.
I'm sorry, can you repeat what that idiosyncrasy was?
That she takes the time to drink the blood before she consumes the brain. And in this moment, you are aware that those other ones in the next room, they don't consume brains anymore. They consume the fluid, the cerebrospinal fluid that the brain essentially floats in, is what they live on.
Is that a personal choice or is that a certain trait of a group?
Oh, you know, the fact that the god brain has essentially managed to create vampiric mind flayers is true of them. The fact that she just did that is weird. And it is your job to keep track of things that are weird.
Right.
Wow, why you gotta be a narc though?
There are no narcs in the link. All know all in the link.
Wow.
I assume that when Nahara becomes aware of this, the rest of us do as well?
Yes, absolutely. And in Nahara, do you say anything?
I mean, I think it. So yeah.
I mean, if you think it.
Yep.
You must be on guard. Do not be unduly influenced by these things.
I was just thirsty.
Is this from the pain you're experiencing?
could be, but I don't know. I felt like playing with my food. I like wiggle my tentacles in a menacing manner.
Soon we will be rid of these unwanted passengers.
If everyone is prepared, I could attempt to land the vessel.
Yes, please.
The sooner the better.
I go over to the navigation panels and mess with the odd-shaped device.
When you walk up to it, as you all look out over the landscape, the vessel is clearly moving at a high rate of speed, but it doesn't seem like anything has changed. There's still this gargantuan looming mountain and this smaller structure that is a blight on the devastated landscape that is still just as far off in the distance as it was before you left. However, Tatiana, when you begin working the control panel, it basically is like, in almost as fast as you can think, you are right up on it, flying past it. In the long tentacled one, turns in, looks at you all and says, "Shall we disembark?"
Yes.
Let us destroy this thing which plagues all our minds, this betrayer of the High Mind. High Master indeed.
And it looks over at all of you and it just says, "Remember, our primary task is to recover the device. We should eradicate the High Master, but if our cargo is secured, we may depart." And it goes over, and you all see the Mind Flayer Nautiloid. The vessel itself has long tentacles out in front of it. And as you approach the mountain, it reaches out and wraps around the side of the mountain. And you all hear as a hole is born into it. And from inside, you hear wails and screams and all sorts of horrific noises from coming inside, from these exiled mind flayers and their experiments.
Is the sound desirable?
No. It is quite unfortunate. This is, again, the closest you've got to an Illithid prison. The long tentacled one looks at you and says, "Would you like to deploy the experiments now or later?"
They are shock troops, yes.
They are.
I suggest we let them go first.
I second this opinion.
He looks and he just waves his hand, and you hear all their cell doors open. Shook, 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 shook. And the five of them just come forward and they look down the hole and they're like, "May we be unleashed?"
Yes.
You see as they go down the hole, two of them just jump down, but the other three jump to the far walls and stick to the walls and climb down them like insects, off into the darkness, leaving the seven of you.
I'll follow.
I stand on the edge and listen first.
You very much hear, after just a couple of seconds, like, as they scramble off into the darkness.
My Illithid will check his antimatter rifle, make sure it's fully charged, and sort of basically, he's the technician, so he's going to wait for some of the frontline fighters to go first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I message to the Valentine Illithid. Sounds like there's cold brains for you.
I'm here for the task. Anything else is bonus. And I'm already proceeding with them.
Mm-hmm. As you all stand here and look down down the tube, one thing that you're all capable of as Elithids is levitate at will. So you all can step into the darkness and just basically begin floating downwards, scanning with your rifles as you come down this hole. And sure enough, when you're not 15 feet in, you find a couple of dead Elithids that all have 4 what look like needle pricks at the base of their brainstem, where the vampires have fed on them and have already moved on. And you sit at an intersection. The landscape in this plane that you all belovedly refer to as Bloodspur is chaotic in the best of times. The tunnels twist and turn in a way that defies gravity or Euclidean geometry or logic or reason. But you have a sense that you should probably go that way.
I'll take point unless Desmond would rather, and elicit my way down toward the way we should go.
Perfect. Hang on one second. I'm just looking something up real quick.
Even as we reach the ground, I continue to levitate. For some reason, it's very satisfying to me. Something about the voice in my head.
It does feel very satisfying. It does.
As we pass the bodies, Myolithid will say,
It seems that God brain's creations are efficient, yes.
Very.
It would appear so, yes.
As you all are making your way down this corridor, you see in the sides of the walls 2 doors slide open, and out of them lumber 2 huge creatures with long, wicked claws. They look like they are covered in insectoid armor, and they've got long mandibles and yellow eyes that don't seem to be looking at anything in particular, and they've both got big metal collars around their necks. I need all of you to roll initiative.
Nabbit.
And again, you've got the, I'll send it again here. You all have the Mind Flayer character sheets. So these are the skills that you've got.
Do Mind Flayers get any bonus on initiative?
They get +1 for their dexterity.
It's a 17.
All right, hold it. Give me just
I'll
one.
put it in the chat as well.
Yes, please. It's Valentine's a 17,
Yeah.
though.
I rolled a
Never heard of
17
her.
as well. So what would be the tiebreaker here?
18, because was it a total of 17 or a total of
18. 17. Oh, I'm sorry. It was 18 because it was 17 on the die.
Perfect. Brother Uriah?
16 for my squid head man.
Okay, Desmond?
14 without the bonus, 16 with the bonus.
15. They just get +1.
Cool.
All right, Finn?
A whole 6.
Excellent. Perfect. I'm missing somebody.
Very nice.
Who am I missing?
Tatiana
Yes, Tatiana.
is a 9.
Perfect. And perfect. Got it. Keeps things simple here when everybody's the same. Okay. Nahara, you are first.
How far away is this? Are these creatures?
About 40 feet.
40 feet. Okay. So I will then hit them with a mind blast and hopefully get 2 of them in the same one.
You should
Because it's
be.
a 60-foot.
You should
cone.
be able to catch them in the cone. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. There. That is a int save for them, right?
Yes.
Int is not their strong suit. Oh, one of them makes it though. One of them does make it. The other one just stops and you see it just sort of, its mandibles kind of like clack a little bit, and it stands there. But the other one still made it through.
I just look very perplexed at this, that he made it.
It is unusual that it was able to succeed, and you think, and by extension, all of you think, that maybe that's what they're experimenting with, was to make these things more mentally resilient.
That's irritating.
Anything else from Mind Flayer Nahara?
No, I just, whatever, my mouth tentacles just kind of harumph, and that's it for me.
Yeah. Valentine?
Yes, I would like to cast Lightning Bolt, please.
Perfect. At the stun one or at the not stun one?
Well, it's 100 feet long and 5 feet wide, and every creature in that line. So I would like to do my best to not hit the other Mind Flayers, but I'd like to hit them both.
You realize you all are literally like the fingers on a hand. When she decides it's Lightning Bolt time, you all sort of, without thinking, okay. What is
that is a Dex save, and the DC is 15.
Let me see here.
And when Valentine's Illithid casts, a similar thing happens to what you've seen happen in battle. The little bit of kind of like tentacle of blackness still kind of pours, but out of her mouth and around the tentacles that she already has.
Perfect. Okay, let me just check something here. I believe the stun one is going to automatically fail. I'm just double checking. Yep, the stun one automatically fails. The other one, this oddly resilient Umber Hulk that is fighting for its life, makes the save. The other one takes it point blank in the middle of its massive chest.
Okay, so this is going to be a lot of rolling because that's 8d8s of damage.
I like it.
So, I can get back to you on what that final total is.
That is fine. It's going to be Brother Uriah next, and then Desmond after that. So yes, Brother Uriah.
Very well. The antimatter rifle, which I'm holding, that's an attack roll, right?
It is, and you can add your next mod to it.
And I can assume I can add its proficiency bonus as well. I assume he's proficient in this.
You can. It is. If you would do me a favor, just put that in chat to make it easier for everybody else that decides to shoot. I mean, our chat.
Oh, sure.
Here.
Sure thing.
But yes, beyond that.
And it is a dexterity-based attack, so I'll also get the dex bonus, I assume?
Yes, you will.
Great. So that is 21 total with the bonuses to hit.
That is more than enough.
And you know what? Probably best to attack a helpless foe. So this is going on the one that is stunned.
Oh, then you roll with advantage then.
Oh, okay. Let's see if I get. No, I don't crit. Just the normal hit. Just the normal.
Perfect.
Hit.
Yep. Absolutely.
And
antimatter rifles do 6d8 of necrotic damage.
68. Okay.
I have my math.
How much was it?
It's 55 points of damage, halved for one of them.
Perfect. This the one that takes it in the chest is very badly burned by this. You see its chest plate cracks, and you can see the soft tissue underneath, but it does not go down.
Also, anything in the area that isn't being worn or carried is also on fire now.
You see down the hallway, random bits and chunks of apparently organic material ignite, and the walls themselves shudder like they're in pain when you do this. Let me see. I'm doing math here. Yes, Brother Uriah.
So that it was the paralyzed, or the stunned one that took the lightning bolt damage, right?
Yes.
Well, it also
they both
takes
took damage.
Yes, but took full damage. Yes.
He now takes 31 points of necrotic damage.
You see the second it's like, how many points, by the way?
31.
You see its eyes sort of like snap back to awareness in time for this to hit it. And you see it has punched a hole clean through it, and it leans over heavily on the wall of the tunnel, very close to death, but it is still up. Anything else from Uriah?
Just seeing if I have anything that's a bonus action. I don't believe so. I'll just yell out mentally,
Such is the fate of all who trifle with the god brain.
Perfect. Desmond?
Desmond aims to continue the onslaught at that particular target since it's weakened and whatnot. Throwing a mind blast.
Okay. Mind blast again. Perfect. Have at it. Oh, actually, Nahara, one of them did suffer from your mind blast. You did not give me that mind blast damage on him. Because it doesn't just stun them, it hurts them as well.
That's right. It's 4d8 plus 4. So let me
Actually,
get that.
You don't even have to roll. It has 7 hit points left, and you're about to do a minimum of 8.
All right.
Brother Uriah's shot actually wouldn't have just catastrophically injured it. You would have finished it.
Such is the fate of all who trifle with the god brain. Not just wounded, but all the way dead. Yes.
Yeah.
That is a more appropriate fate, yes.
So, Desmond.
Good.
Good.
The other one is hurt, but up.
Definitely rolling the mind blast at that one.
Okay.
Let me gather my...
It very much does not make it this time. So you can give me the damage. As it turns and you see it opens its mandibles.
29 damage.
Perfect. And it stands there and absolutely takes it.
Excellent.
It would have been its turn. Let's see if it gets it. It does not break the stun. So it is trapped. Tatiana, it is your turn. As it is injured.
If it is stunned, does this essentially mean that I can extract its brain without grappling?
You absolutely can extract its brain.
The brain. I levitate over to it and that's a 20 to hit.
More than enough. In fact, you could a natural 20 or a 20 total?
20 with the +7.
Technically, you've got advantage because it was stunned. So roll again, just on the off chance to see if you crit on this pitiful creature.
21.
Hold on. Let me just check one quick thing, actually.
It's 10d10 piercing.
Let me just, I'm checking one,
Sure.
one thing here to see. Actually, one thing, hold on to that thought, because something, even though it is stunned, it can still do a thing on its turn. You all see its eyes just sparkle with chaos and confusion. And even your Elithid minds are not immune to this. I need all of you to give me charisma saving throws.
Oh my goodness.
I think we're +6 on these.
It's weird that mind flayers are super charismatic, but that is a thing.
+3?
they're
Or
very
no, it is
safe.
+6.
Yeah,
Oh, it
plus
is
six
+6
on the save. Yep.
Oh, dirty 20 then.
18.
Perfect. 18.
21.
You're good. 21.
23.
Good. 23. Good.
22.
22. Good. Desmond.
14.
Desmond.
Oh, great.
We are. Hold on a second here. We'll come back in a second to what happens as you feel very intrusive thoughts start to work their way into your mind, Desmond. And yes, Tatiana, you absolutely, having made the save, can proceed to extract the brain from this pitiful creature. How much damage did you do?
Oh, well, I slowly move around it, and as my teeth dig into its skull, that's 9. Plus 9, 18, plus 12 is 30. Plus 8, 38. Last one is 12. 50.
50 points of damage?
This will be savored.
It had 42 hit points left. Tatiana, you tell me what it looks like when you suck the brain out of this thing.
I slowly pull it. Does it have hair?
It does. It's like a big ant. It's an Umber Hulk.
I grab its mandibles and pull its head back as my rows of teeth latch onto the back of its skull and peel the skin back so I can look at the brain first. And then with my tentacles, I just kind of like, it's like slurping an oyster out of a shell.
That's exactly what it's like. And its huge body falls to the ground. Boom, boom. Completely hollowed out. Desmond, however, roll 1d8 for me, please.
Oh, great. Seven.
Now give me roll a 1d6 for me.
Don't like it. 1.
You randomly shoot your antimatter rifle at Finn. Roll it.
I didn't click the link for the antimatter rifles. Now I gotta go look at the damage. I saw it. Now I just like
6d8 damage.
And you're +4 to hit.
Yep. You have to roll the hit though. Yeah. Desmond, you look at her, and for a split second, you cannot tell friend from foe. And all of you feel this confusion come from him as this Umber Hulk gazed at you all with its chaos eyes. And 5 of your resolves held, but 1 did not. Make your attack roll, sir.
Trying to find the stats of this stupid thing. I had it up.
I just roll +6, and then it's a roll, add 6 to it, and then it's 6d8 if you hit.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Ooh. No, thank you. So roll d20 and then add 6?
Yep.
Sorry, Finn. Okay, so 16.
Unfortunately,
That hits.
That hits.
Damn it.
Roll 6d8.
Don't like it.
Well,
That'd be a 30.
As you all are fighting, Finn, just in the back, you all see black webs extend out of the wound over her elithid flesh as she's shot in the back.
Do we have anything like the equivalent of a first aid kit or healing potions on us?
You don't. Beyond the magical capability that some of you might possess, beyond this, it's like you're not supposed to get hit. That's not the Mind Flayer way.
I'll just telepathically shout to the Desmond Elithid, like,
Steel yourself.
does it seem to snap him out of it? Probably not. But
No. Does it?
It actually does, because it just confuses you momentarily, and then you're completely aware of what you've done, though, Desmond, that you've shot her.
I'd been steeled. Why? Why is this?
Such weakness is unbecoming.
Of her as well. How are you?
I am unharmed and
I was
not
talking
susceptible.
to her.
What's wrong with you?
I was confused for a moment.
And I paid for that confusion.
Indeed you did. How are you?
I'm a little singed. A lot. Can I intentionally miss but shoot back at Desmond?
Absolutely. Just yeah.
I level my rifle at Desmond, but I intentionally miss of like next time.
You know what? Roll
Next
it
time.
for me. Roll it for me for only one reason. Because if you get a 1,
Okay.
you're super gonna shoot him.
Why did you say that before I roll?
That's why. Yep.
You cursed this dice. It's a 7. I didn't hit him.
It's closer than even you meant it to be, Finn. Like you sort of put it just like right past the tentacles.
He's got a little clip going. He's got a little clip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is he calamari now?
Not
I'm
quite.
sorry. I'm trying to be serious. I just can't.
Not quite. Brother Uriah, give me an Arcana check.
Oh, no,
And
just check
Valentine,
that.
you can give it to me as well.
And they got +7 on Arcana?
I believe they do.
Okay, that's a 23.
23.
That's a 26. Love
26.
that +7.
You both look at these devices that are on these creatures, one of which still has its brain intact, for the record. And it is, you believe it is a remote control apparatus. It is a way to command creatures without having to dominate their minds first.
Interesting.
As I remove the collar, I'll eat the brain that's still there. Waste not, want not.
Absolutely. It's unusual. Mind flayers often hunt in the Underdark. And Umber Hulk is a rare delicacy, but of course, there's not much in there. It is an aperitif, as you will.
Yeah, a little junk food, you know. We're on a road trip. I should have some chips or something. And does the collar detach?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So
Interesting. But why would this be necessary?
And you all hear, out loud, not in your minds, "Oh, friends, you don't understand the good work we're doing here. You all are still caught in the lies of the Godbrain's deceits. Let me help you, as I have helped so many before you."
Blasphemy.
Oh, no.
You're
Yes,
not missionaries, are you?
This-
If I can, I'd like to cast Wall of Force around us in kind of a dome.
This wall of force appears around you, and you see at the other end of the tunnel what was probably a mind flayer once. It is hunched and stooped, where its head looks like it is put on sideways. It's got a large lump over its back, and an arm that is red and scaled and clawed, like a different kind of arm has clearly been attached to it. And it's got a single wing over the shoulder blades of one of its arms. And the red arm hangs heavily on the floor as it stands there, and it says, "I believe it would be you are the ones proselytizing for a false god. Before I ordered your eradication, I just wanted to make sure you wouldn't at least consider joining our collective."
Hard.
As
I'm
it-
just Yeah, I'm gonna go up to the edge of the like force field, and just say, "It seems like you would know much of our false god, wouldn't you?"
It stops in this already oddly turned head, looks at you more. And one of the tentacles on the face comes up and points at you, Valentine, and says, "Oh, you're
Yes.
the special one. Upon reflection, I'm going to need you for my experiments. I believe you might be the key to our solution." And out of the darkness from both directions, approaching your wall of force, you see 8 very large, what were once probably humans, carrying axes, and they don't have heads. Just these metallic contraptions on their necks where heads once were. And that is a good place for us to take a little break. So we're going to do a quick 10 and we will come back here. Although this time I did remember my list of patrons. So let me give a shout out to my people, the Dark Lords of the Dread Domains. Aaron Duran, Alan Zozo, Aurelia Rolf, Brian Dwyer, a.k.a. Nightsfall, Brian Kepi, Chris Smoot, Chris Zednick, Craig Savage, David Bonney, Dina Cole, Donald Scott Massey, Ducati, Philippe C., Forrest S. Moore, Graffumbly, Grizzled Viking, Hell Knight Games, Josh Lund, Just Link, Kira Snow, Michael Skidmore, Mr. Owlbear, Nathan Crowder, Nick Bernard, Packery 101, Project Wolf Bear, Reese, Rob, Bacon Gollum Tremarco, Ronan Monkey, shout out to our homie Ronan Monkey, Rum Soaked Chicken, Sin 7 Sip Happens, to Queen Bee, The Nuckin' Futz, which are Justin and Kyle Chestnut, that is an awesome name, my homie Thomas, Tracer Vision, and Zort 1. Again, thank you all so very much. You literally make it possible to do what we do. It is great to see not only so many names returning on that list, but new ones every time. So thank you all so much. And I also point out we are near our next Patreon milestone, which when we hit it, we will do another full-length bonus episode like we did with the Morning Rail. So with that being said, thank you all so much. We'll be back in 10. Don't go nowheres. We will stay here in initiative as you all are beset on all sides by these strange creatures. Tatiana, although Tatiana had just slain one, Finn, you are inside the wall of force as these things are coming around. What would you like to do?
If a mind blast can go through the wall of force, I will do that.
Let me read whether it can't, what it will or won't stop, honestly. Yeah, nothing can physically pass through it, but a mind blast is not physical. So, yes, you can.
All right. And I'm doing +4 with...
The mind blast is not an attack. It is a save from them.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. They need a 15.
All right, let's see here.
And 60 foot, it's a 60-foot cone. So and all those enemy humans on whatever side I'm on should hit.
Your mind blast erupts and hits them, and they all stop for a second. And you see these odd devices where their heads should be jolt their bodies, and 3 of them start moving again, but 2 of them don't. 2 of them do stop anyway.
Oh. Do we only get 1 attack as mind flayers or 2?
That is the action for a mind flayer. Yep.
All right, I guess I'm just chilling.
Back around Nahara to you. First, you got to roll a d6 to see if your mind blast is recharged or not.
D6, you said?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I rolled a 6.
Then yes, it comes back online again. If you choose to, you don't have to use it, but you've regained it as an ability.
To Mind Blast?
Uh-huh. If you'd like to.
Yes, because are we in some sort of...
You are surrounded by a wall of force that Valentine has put up to protect you. These things, there's 8 of them, of which Finn has eliminated 3, or stunned successfully 2 of them. And 3 are coming on that side, and there's 3 on the other side.
Do our guns are able to shoot through these things? I'm still going to Mind Blast.
The weapons won't, because the wall of force will stop anything physical. Your Mind Blast is not physical.
Gotcha. I will go with that Mind Blast.
Perfect. Now, so you have a choice. You have there's a group that essentially was behind you, and there's a group that is ahead of you. And in the group ahead of you is where the High Master is. The group that is behind you is the group in which Finn has taken out 2 of them, and 3 of them are still up.
I'll go for the one ahead.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. The same thing happens. You hit the 3 of them, and they stop for a moment, and that shock goes off, and then 2 of them start moving again, and 1 of them doesn't. You see the High Master stops and puts this clawed hand up in front of them, and is like, "Oh, you are quite powerful, aren't you? You always were one of my favorites. I realize we're not supposed to have favorites because we're not supposed to be individuals, but I always liked you a lot."
This is the High Master saying this?
The High Master says this to you, yep.
I'll just kind of like... Well, I'm already thinking it, but I'll just say like traitor, but like just harumph my tentacles.
Perfect. No, this is the height of blasphemy, what they're doing here. Valentine, it is your turn.
Does that voice sound familiar to me in any strange way? Or I guess I couldn't hear that. Was that specifically to Nahara, right?
It said it out loud. The High Master is not communicating psionically with you.
Right.
It very much sounds familiar to Nahara and Uriah that heard that voice during their dreams. Valentine, no. You are aware of the existence of the High Master in the sense all Illithids are. Beyond that, this voice, nothing special to you.
Got it. Okay, then.
Yep.
Well, then, feel like it's going to be immune to a lot of my spells. I'm going to go for another lightning bolt.
Okay, at forward or backwards, basically. You have 2 stunned and 3 active behind you. You have 1 stunned, 2 active, and the High Master ahead of you.
For the High Masters, please.
Perfect. Save from all of them, right?
Yes, it's a dex save of 15.
Okay. None of these humanoids make it. The High Master also does not make it. And it's going to be Uriah on deck and then Desmond, by the way. Uriah, why don't you go ahead and give me what you're doing while we're getting the damage from Valentine here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My Illithid will call out to the High Master.
You are the one responsible for this turmoil in our minds. Are you?
Oh, my friend, I can help free you from all of that noise and chaos. Would you like to know why you're feeling so much pain?
This merging, this weakling that I am bonded to. What has caused it?
I don't know what you're referring to, but I would be happy to place you in the device to try to figure it out. I just thought you meant that anguish, that torment that radiates through you and all of my fellow Illithid siblings. It is because your god is dying. In the moment...
Go on. I just, as that comes out,
More heresy.
but go on. What happens?
moment it says your god is dying, all of you hear thunderously in your mind, blasphemy, I am eternal.
You heard him.
And I'll fire.
I did not actually.
Oh, he concurred with my assessment of your words as blasphemy.
And then, as I'm saying that, I open up with the antimatter rifle. The wall of force is down, right?
The wall of force is up, although again, it only stops physical attacks. So I'm gonna say the antimatter rifle will work through it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way,
Well, then,
that's 36 points of damage.
36 points. Perfect.
And once again, it's in that kind of line so that anything that is not currently being worn or carried has caught fire.
You see, once the flames engulf around the High Master, you can see it was wearing the tatters of something. Give me a perception check.
Everybody?
Just specifically Valentine. Actually, Valentine, Tatiana, and Desmond, give me perception checks.
24.
24. You are definitely going to see it.
What is our bonus?
+6.
+6 as Mind Flayer.
20.
20?
Nine.
Desmond, nothing. You're heresy. Like, you've blocked it out. Like, I'm only here to eliminate this thing. Both Tatiana and Valentine, you realize the High Master, under this bulbous amorphous form, was wearing at least part of something that looks like a uniform that has medals on it. A uniform that seems strangely familiar that you saw at a wedding. But you don't know what a wedding is. You're Mind Flayers. It just seems familiar somehow.
Now, I don't clock this, so I'm going to, something, why be a Mind Flayer if you're not going to use a Mind Blast? I'll go Mind Blast to try to catch the Master and the active ones in front of us.
You did not use it last time, right? Because anyone that did use it,
did
you got
not.
to roll to see if it comes back. Okay. This
is the first time.
You know what? Give me just 1 second here while I do my maths. Also, both Nahara and Finn, don't forget to give me your damage from the Mind Blast. It doesn't just stun, it harms. So need to keep track of how much damage these guys have taken. Okay. Give me just 1 second, Brother Uriah. I will see whether or not it makes the save.
Cool. I'll just roll my damage in advance.
Yes, please. Okay.
Sorry, did you ask something?
Yes. When you your mind blast damage, you'll notice for the ones that don't make
Oh,
the
yes.
save, it hurts them. In
Yes,
addition
yes.
to stunning them.
Okay.
27.
Okay. 27. Perfect. Apologies, I'm keeping track of a bunch of stuff over here. Okay. 36 and 27. Of the group that is in, no, you shot that to the front, so that's gonna be, I'm gonna add that there, perfect. Okay. Perfect. All right, and we need to see if they make that save. They do, the 3 that are in front of you that were already not stunned have managed to shake this off. Again, the High Master seems like they may be unaffected by this. Again, it just puts this clawed hand up in front of it and just says to you, "Oh, such a zealous advocate of our Lord. I promise you there is so much more out there. Do you know the wisdom and power that exists in the other planes? That we were meant to rule, all of us, not just your dying god."
And did it make the save from my mind blast?
It did.
Or
The ones, basically the ones that had already saved again. The one that was stunned is double stunned. So you can still give me your damage because there's nothing saying it can't be stunned multiple times.
That is 25 points of damage to me.
Perfect.
Psychic, obviously.
You see, one of them is not looking like it's doing too well at all. Nahara, what was that on your Mind Blast?
24.
One of them is down completely then, actually, from your Mind Blast there. 2 of them have gone down from your Mind Blast. Perfect.
Nice. From the ones ahead?
From the ones ahead.
Because that was where, yeah.
From the ones ahead. Because they've now been Mind Blasted, Lightning Bolted, and then Mind Blasted again in the front.
Good work, team. Yeah.
That's how you do it. Desmond, it is your turn. Oh, sorry. That was 25 from you. Yes, Desmond, it is your turn. Again.
Just when those 2 fall down, my mind flayer will just go and give like a high five with its face tentacles to anybody who's
high tentacles. You can see when they fall to the ground, that same electric jolt goes off like it's trying to move them back into action, but their bodies just convulse. They're dead. Desmond.
I too am entering the fray with the mind blasts because reasons.
The group before or the group after?
Which was the one that everybody was already engaging in?
Well, Finn did shoot the back group and stop 2 of them, but 3 are still up. Of the group ahead of you, there is only 1 more in the High Master ahead of you.
The back group.
Okay. Remind me, did you use yours last time?
Mind blast?
Yeah, or did you shoot last time?
I used the mind blast last time.
So roll a d6. Let's see if you get it back. You need a 5 or a 6 for it to recharge.
I knew I shouldn't have trusted the digital dice. I got a 1 on that one. So nope.
Then your Mind Blast is currently not recharged.
Then to the antimatter rifle we go. And that is 6d8. Sweet mercy.
Well, roll to hit first. Are you shooting at the ones that are attacking in the rear?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's a d20, yeah.
Yeah, d20 to attack.
Okay.
And add +6, I believe we said it was. Brother
yes.
Uriah?
9.
Yeah. 9 total.
Yep.
You You shoot at what would have been a headshot, point blank between the eyes, but they have no heads, Desmond. So the bolt arcs high.
Damn. Next time.
You all hear in your heads, "Do we have your permission to intervene?"
This is from the 5 that
Yep.
now would be a good time.
From behind you, you very much see the 5 of them explode out of the darkness, crawling along the walls of the tunnel like they were, and descend on these axe wielders behind you. They go to wrap their tentacles around their heads and realize they don't have any, and you can see they very clearly look confused for a second by this, and then just proceed to claw at them with these wicked nails on their hands that you all don't have, but they do, and rip apart all 5 of them that are back behind you. You see up front of you, the last remaining barbarian comes forward with its axe and just clangs into the wall of force and looks at it confused for a second, or just its whole body kind of arcs to the side and clang. The High Master sees the vampires behind and says, "Ah, yes, again, your false god is fine making its own creations, but deems the rest of us that attempt to perfect ourselves as blasphemers. You all will see. You will see." And you see a door of light opens up behind it, and it is gone.
Wait. Did anyone see this strange decoration on the threads of clothing it wore?
Yes.
Irrelevant. It is not our target. The device is.
The
We should
device.
continue.
Perfect. The vampires look up, and they're all covered in blood and viscera and what you immediately recognize as Mind Flayer parts. And they're like, stand up, and they're like, "Have we failed in our mission? Did the High Lord escape because of our failure?"
This was not our mission. The device is our goal.
That is our primary objective.
May we continue to deal death indiscriminately.
We hope that you do.
Yes.
They just
Enjoy
nod
yourselves.
and just run past you into the tunnels, like off climbing along the walls and everything. They are quite efficient.
I want like 5 more of them.
Now, you all are standing here in this hallway, surrounded by dead bodies, and recently consumed Umber Hulks. What would you all like to do?
Spellcaster, may this wall be reshaped into a globe.
Yes. I can resituate it, but it can't exactly. I don't believe it can move with us, right, Dave?
I believe it is fixed.
I can form it into a spherical dome with a radius of up to 10 feet, or I can shape it in a flat surface.
Yeah, I don't think it can move. I think once it's here, it's here. This is what makes it a wall. Yeah.
So, if it was a globe, could we not all walk inside it and then just sort of move it forward?
It's just a hamster wall of force.
Like a hamster wall.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
I think it is fixed in space, yes. Because it blocks the ethereal plane as well. Nothing can get through it. Yeah.
So I'll just take it down for now and say, we'll be safe without it. Should we need it, we'll take place again.
In
Very
your
well.
minds, you hear the presence. Again, when you all talk to each other, saying you talk to each other is a misnomer. You're just aware of each other's thoughts. And you are aware of the psionicist from the ship. "I believe I have located the device. I shall direct
Where?
you now. I will endeavor to make my way there separately."
Do
And
hurry.
you all become clear on where to go through this nonsensical labyrinthine maze.
I'll take towards the front.
Is you all proceed through, on occasion, you come on bodies of all manner of terrible things that the vampires have dispatched. You also
Pitiful.
find the bodies of one of the vampires. It is under a pile of 3 odd wolf-like creatures that look half human and feral, just tangled in a knot of all of them corpses. But as far as you can tell, the other 4 have moved on. You are capable of communicating with them if you wish. Again, they always occupy a sort of, they very much stay on the edges of the link.
Are these fallen bodies wearing any technology similar to the control collars from before?
These ones have had some other kind of experiment placed on them. You can see they've got thick, heavy stitches all over their bodies. At least one of them you can see has been clawed down deep enough that you can see there are some technological components inside of it.
I'll reach in and I assume I have some kind of torture knife or something, so I'll dislodge a few components. I'm the technician, so take them away for later study or to be suppressed completely, depending on what the God Brain would like.
You're able to do so effortlessly. And as you all are making your way through, you hear the voice of the God Brain again. My children, you have made me proud. Proceed and do not fail me.
We will not fail you.
Yes, Lord.
As you all continue making your way through here, you come upon a heavy door, and you are aware of the fact that on the other side of the door is the device.
Is the door locked?
It isn't, but at the best of times, Alithids might be referred to as sociopathic. You all don't have feelings in the sense that the other sentients have. You love, fear. These things don't really exist for you outside of the pure joy of feeding. That's one thing you understand. But if you all were capable of anxiety, you don't know what's on the other side of that door.
So we can't feel that there are any thoughts on the other side of that coming from anything.
Do you try to open up your awareness to that? Before now, you've all kind of instinctively closed yourselves off a little bit. Because again, this is where the mind flayers you don't want to know what they're thinking are sent to this place. You could attempt to open yourself up to them if you so chose, though. That's, you also would understand intrinsically. That's why the High Master has been talking to you out loud, because you don't have a link with it. They may have their own link here. If you attempt to join their link in this place.
I don't know about that.
I will.
Best to summon the fodder, I think, yes.
Let them open the door for us.
Valentine, in that moment, you give me a wisdom save, but give it, or actually wisdom or intelligence, whichever's higher. I think it's gonna be intelligence for you.
It is going to be intelligence.
And you can give it to me with advantage, because this is what you do.
Let's see if it crits. It does. I rolled a 19 and a 20. So it's a 27. A natural 20.
The 6 of you are standing at a lavish ball, a party. It is filled with humans and elves and half-elves. They are drinking and carousing and engaging in all manner of abominable conduct, which is expressly why these monkeys must be wiped out and suppressed. But because of the fortitude of Valentine's mind, you do not lose your Mind Flayer constitution. You're aware that you're seeing something that isn't real.
For a moment, I was afraid I was underdressed.
What is this?
Looking down at our hands, do we still appear to be mind flayers?
They look like human hands until you steal your resolve for a moment and you see your mind flayer hands again. This, whatever this is highly intoxicating. All of you give me a perception check.
You get a +6 to this?
21.
Oh, yeah.
Do we get a plus this, guys? Ooh.
Yes,
17.
all of you were
18.
there for this, yeah.
17.
Excellent. Beck, I just asked you a question there, sorry. You all are aware that the humans seem to be having a good time here. In the corner, you see a very tall, imposing blue sentient standing there with swords in her belt, just watching everyone have a good time. You also see in the midst of this crowd, there are 4 or 5 of them that aren't drinking, but they're pretending like they are. They very much and pretending to be tipsy, but they're not drunk, while the rest of them are engaging heavily. This blue sentient does look oddly familiar to all of you. You hear her saying something about an axe, something about eating everything she can get into her mouth. I don't know. It's familiar to you somehow.
Interesting.
Am I able to feel anything about that in particular?
You've seen this. You know this night. You don't know why this is the night, but this is the night.
Do I feel anything when looking at the blue one?
It's a friend. You don't have friends. That doesn't make sense. Just there's those that are and are not in the link, but you feel a powerful kinship with that one. You trust it, which is not a feeling that you get.
I would like to detect thoughts on the ones not carousing.
Right then, mate. Everybody knows the job, yeah? After the party, when everybody's sloshed, we do the father, we do the mum, we do the daughter, and then we get out of here and get paid. Nobody gets sloppy. And for God's sakes, don't get that Genasi on your tail. She's a killer.
Right, I know what to do. Right when it all starts to go wrong, yeah? I'll challenge her to come out back and wrestle with me. Everybody says she can't turn down a challenge. When I get her outside, you all know what to do. Shank, shank. Ha 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 ha.
We all, I assume, through our link, pick this up, yes? Through the detect thoughts?
You do.
I'll approach their table and walk towards the one that seems to be the leader.
Can I help you? Hey, no. Sorry, drinks all around, mate. And he like picks up a flagon of wine. Oh, your cup looks empty, mate. Can I? And you see no fear in his eyes. Whatever he's seeing is not your true form. Right, let me top you off there, mate. You look too. It's a happy occasion, hey.
Indeed, you can help me.
I dominate him.
You can't. You reach out with your mind to be like, oh, you're mine now. And it's just not there.
Yeah. Yes. Hooray for happiness.
Valentine, I asked you something there as well. What are the rest of you doing? Yes, Tatiana.
The mind flayer inside the being feels a deep sense of shame, and then feels terrible about feeling that shame, and walks up to the non-carouser that said they would challenge the blue one and attempts to mind blast it.
Same thing. You will yourself and just nothing happens. Tatiana, you remember that man. You remember that wrestling match. You were outside. That's why you were gone. You didn't drink. You knew that you were supposed to be on duty that night. But it's harmless. And again, he challenged you in front of everyone. Of course you went and did it.
This is the night I wanted to forget for so long.
Hates to be the center of attention. We all know what she's like, don't we? Oh, we all love Valentine. She likes to watch, but I would spare no expense to make sure that my daughter's birthday would be memorable. I promised her we wouldn't sing, but let us all give her a hand. And the curtains draw, and you see a beautiful young half-elf with long, curly red hair. In fact, you tell me, Valentine, what did she look like that night?
She has a long draping golden dress that shimmers. It has a deep cut into the front and a deep cut up the legs, and a set of loose pearls around her neck. Unlike the tight choker pearls she wears now, they hang down along the cut of her dress, and they're layered. And her hair is down, unlike the kind of updos you see it in now in braids. It hangs down and long just past her hips.
Does she say anything when her father is Valentine, happy birthday, Valentine?
Father, please. This is just as embarrassing.
Oh, my child, you're growing so quickly, and you are a woman in your own right. But please permit an old elf to just let you know you will always be my little girl and my most prized jewel, and I will always love you more than anything. And he hugs you and kisses you on the cheek.
I love you too, Father. But she says it quiet enough that the people at the party can't hear.
When this happens and you hear this hug, everything stops. Valentine, you're you again. You're you that night. Your father's arms are around you, and you're aware of the presence of 6 strangers that are here. You can't put your finger on it. You can't see them, but you know they're here. You know they're being watched. And you hear a very calm voice inside. Hi, Valentine. You don't know me, but we're going to become the best of friends, I promise. This is a beautiful party. I kind of hate it. What do you think?
I also kind of hate it. Are you in my head?
Oh, yes. I forgot. You're not aware of that yet. Linear time is still something I'm sort of trying to get a grasp on. Listen, not to spoil things, but your night's kind of going to take a negative turn. And I would like to offer you something that I know you're deeply invested in, which is revenge. Revenge.
Revenge on who?
You'll understand shortly. I will give you power. Not me. I'm really more of a representative, to tell you the truth. But we will give you power. We will give you influence. We will make you into a queen. And those who have wronged you will suffer piece by piece.
I have influence, but it's never given me power. It doesn't matter how influential you are. People can still do anything they want to you.
Oh, I understand the burden that mortality has been up until now. What if I told you there was a way to just reach inside someone's head and just pluck their strings and make them dance like a puppet and do whatever you want them to do? To simply point and have flames erupt out of you and just burn them where they stand. Wouldn't that be delicious?
Yes.
So, to be clear, you're in for power and revenge, right?
At what price?
The price is negligible in the grand scheme of things, and unfortunately, dare I say, you're going to pay it either way. It's just whether or not there's something in it for you.
Okay.
I know the terms are difficult because unfortunately, life on the material plane is difficult, although...
On the what?
I tell you what, I've actually grown quite fond of you. You don't understand what I'm saying, but you will eventually. I can't say that you're fond of me, but we've still got time. How about I make sure that you've also got some friends, that you're never alone again after tonight?
Okay.
Great. So, I'm gonna need you to forget all about me for now, but I promise you that
What what do you mean just forget? Am I sick?
Oh, yes, Valentine, you are. But it's really advantageous to tell you the truth. You know, I won't burden you with cumbersome details. If I could just give you a little piece of friendly advice. Hug your father. Hold him to you. And afterwards, find your mother and tell her that you love her. Should you not, you'll wish you had.
What?
And everything starts moving again. Oh, hey, yes. Yeah. Another round, find his cask. Nothing denied to my daughter on her birthday. Are you all right, dear? Has someone upset you? I shall, and he reaches and pulls a dagger out and immediately drops it.
No, Father, please,
Hmm?
it's okay. And I just kind of help him to stand up, and it's clearly something that's like familiar. She's used to taking care of him, and she just kind of. And as she kind of puts his arm around her to stand him up a little, she just kind of puts the other around his waist because he's much taller than she is, and leans in for a moment.
Important point, Valentine. After you see to him, do you go find your mother?
I look for her.
She's out back in the grove, her favorite place. She hates the noise of these parties. What does your mother look like?
My mother is a human woman. She stands about 5'4", not very tall at all, and she has strawberry blonde hair, about as long as Valentine's, and has kind of the same curl pattern to it. And she has very, very, just a massive smile that takes up her whole face. And she doesn't dress as dramatically, at least when people aren't around, as Valentine and her father do. She looks much more humble. She looks always like she's ready to garden instead, and she's barefoot.
She turns when you're coming out and she says, "Oh, he didn't sing, did he? He promised he wouldn't sing. That was the only way I okayed this whole production."
He didn't sing. He's struggling a bit out there, though, again.
Well, since you're out here, I suppose, I did fashion a little something for you. And she reaches in one of her pockets and she pulls out a pearl choker.
Mother.
I don't know that it would fit the this glorious ensemble here, but perhaps it might be a little more day to day.
It's beautiful. Thank you. And she pulls like a handkerchief out of her pocket and wraps it in it carefully and puts it away. Mother, are you okay? Is Father okay?
Oh, your father is always okay. I'm slightly troubled. You know, no, it'd be wrong of me to burden you on your birthday, child. No. It's just...
Please. Please.
Well, you are an adult. One day this will all be yours as she motions towards you all's lands in the manor. You are aware that there are aspects of our business that are not always glamorous.
Yes.
There are many who envy us in our lands and holdings. There are others who take exception to the manner by which we have acquired our influence.
How did we acquire it?
She reaches and she pushes one of your curls to the side and she goes, "Oh, my child, we have acquired by doing what is necessary. We have done much good in this world. Much good. And those who have tasted our rebuke, I assure you, earned it."
Of course.
My daughter, where have the years gone? It was just yesterday that you were running barefoot through these trees, attempting to hide from me. Although strangely, I could never hide from you. Such a perceptive child.
Suppose I'm not barefoot terribly often anymore either. Father's letting me take on a lot of responsibility.
Well, you
grateful.
are the best of us. You really have taken all of our strengths and none of our weaknesses.
And she leans in to hug her mother. And she says, "I don't know of your weaknesses. I love you."
The moment you say that, the six of you are mind flayers in the hall again, all completely aware of what just happened.
What is this? Sentiment, emotion, weakness.
So much weakness.
Why?
Feeling.
Why do we feel this? It's awful. We must make it stop.
We have no use for feelings. Why?
Still hold our weapons.
This very much was where we sensed the device was.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking around.
The device is on the other side of the door, for sure.
Still on the. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So this
yeah,
was
yeah.
all happening within the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You haven't moved from this spot. Valentine, were you going to say something?
I know that I can't feel much as a mind flayer, but do I have any kind of processing that is in the same way that Brother Uriah can feel himself within it? Do I have any understanding that
1,000%. That happened
relates
to you.
to me?
Yeah, somehow that happened to you in a way that you don't understand because you're completely aware of your existence as an Elithid from the moment you hatched in the pool to now. There are no missing days, and yet that happened to you.
we should complete the objective and get out.
Yes. This is meant to distract and confuse us. Nothing more.
The
We
moment
should go
Casting
before.
one.
We should go before anyone feels anything.
Right.
I'm afraid I am caught in its clutches, and I must apologize to the spellcasting one. I feel at fault for what we saw. I know I shouldn't feel this.
I don't think we're supposed to feel anything.
the
Must
moment
ignore this. Phantasms, nothing more. The god brain has given us a mission.
The
Yes, of
moment
course.
you say that, the door opens. And inside, you see the device. It is a series of tubes that go high up into the heights of this room. It is difficult to see how far they go because lightning play across the top of them. There are gears and cogs, and there is a bed encased in glass. And laying on that bed, you see the red-haired woman from that vision. She has a massive open wound across her neck where her throat has very clearly been slashed. And chained to the walls in suspended animation, you see the people that were at that party, the ones who weren't drinking, the ones who said they were going to perform the murders, are all there against the walls. And you see, standing in the middle of the room, the High Master, and you see he's got the red dragon claw around the neck of the long tentacled one, holding it and looking at it. Oh, my friends, thank you for joining us.
I would like to do my very best to contact Tregram.
Well, isn't this an unusual surprise? Why do you even know of my existence in your current iteration?
I don't know. But I would like my revenge now.
Absolutely. And Valentine, in that moment, you become completely aware of your abilities, both as this mind flayer and as Valentine. Everything you are capable of comes back to mind. And at that moment of awareness, the red-haired woman in the capsule opens her eyes and comes back. What would you like to do?
I would like to allow every gooey tentacle to pour out of my eyes and through the tentacles on my face and whatever the closest thing to ear holes and Elizabeth has is. And I would like to on the three that were not drinking, are they already dead?
Oh, no, they appear to be in stasis somehow. They're alive.
Great. I would like to
You understand? Do you want them to be awake? You realize they can be awake or asleep. Because as you begin thinking this, what you want to do to them, it is not you that moves. It is the woman on the table that begins to sit up, and the capsule opens where she can emerge from it. Although you are making your intent, she is what is acting.
what spell lists do I have access to at this time?
Both. As a mind flayer
great.
and as a Valentine.
I would like to take them out of their stasis, and I would like to use the telekinesis to rise them up and slam them into the ground as hard as I can.
You see this woman raises her hands, and they snap awake. Why? Wait. No. You're dead. I killed you myself. I cut your throat out. And you see they fall to the ground, broken, but not quite dead. And you hear Tregram's voice. Oh, I believe you can do far more than that. Savor this, Valentine. You have earned this.
I would like to control her to go up to each of them individually and cast Arms of Hadar and watch the kind of same gooey tentacles pour out of her eyes and squeeze around their throat and kind of stick a tentacle in and tear across it to tear their throat open.
You take extreme pleasure in taking your time in visiting this retribution on each and every one of them, one by one. And while you're doing this, you realize the High Master hasn't moved yet. And it turns and looks at you and says, "Oh, I've miscalculated. If I were to give you an important piece of information, would you consider sparing my life?" And it's still holding on to the scion, but drops to its knees, still holding it.
I'd consider it.
This is but a prototype. I eyed something like it on the plane of Lamortia, but I have yet to duplicate one of equal power. I feel like that will be of use to you. I can be of use to you.
Where is that?
And you see it. You see in your mind a castle in a far-off place. You get just a glimpse of it, but you feel like you could get back to it.
I take a moment, and then all of the different tentacles that have kind of spread out amongst the three suck back up into one place, and then immediately go for the throat of the leader.
As you wrap your tentacles around the High Master, it fights and struggles with one of them, pulling a couple of them off, but it can't stop them all as it begins to get choked, and you hear the cracking and breaking as this half-elf has motioned out and just made a fist and broken it to the ground. And everything stops moving again for a moment. And you hear, "You children have done well, but you have failed." And that unblinking eye appears in the middle of the room, looking at the scion that is still has this red claw wrapped around its throat. And it's like, "No, my lord, I have acted to the best of my ability. You will serve." And you see it rises up into the air, like its arms and legs and tentacles are being pulled in different directions, and its head cracks open, and you see its brain floats out of it and down in front of you, Valentine. And while it's floating in front of the red-haired woman, you see the doors open and the 4 remaining vampires make their way into the room. "You 5, go forth, guide her to her proper destiny." And out of the device, a tank comes up, a jar. And the brain goes down into it, floating in fluid. And a lid comes down and screws shut on top of it. And you all are back at the carnival. You emerge from the mist.
Did we just witness Stuart's origin story? Was that what? Oh God, I ate a brain.
Oh, Valentine, I'm so sorry.
Valentine just falls onto Tatiana.
Oh, I never wanted to see that again.
It's not.
It's all my fault. I owe you everything.
Tatiana. It is not your fault.
It
If
is
you were
my
there,
fault.
you would have been dead too.
No, I could have taken them. I would have destroyed them all. I would have protected your family, and I was outside trying to prove nothing.
I
You
would
are
have
all I
happily
have
destroyed
left.
them all.
Please.
I'm so sorry. So sorry for your losses.
While I wasn't there at the wedding, I'm sure that witnessing that was not something we were meant to know. Apologies to both of you. But we are back at the carnival, and the least I can do is give you hospitality.
Yes.
Is Stuart all right?
As you turn around, the tank was shattered and all of the fluid had leaked out of it. But as you look behind you and check, the tank is restored and the brain is floating in it.
I thought behind my back I had let something precious die once again. Kiss this mud-smeared jar. Are the eyes still on it?
They are not. That glass was shattered. It has been restored somehow. In Valentine, you hear in your head, "Now you understand. Now we are at your command." And that is a good place for us to stop. Because tonight, when sleep does finally find you, an unusual conversation takes place. Late at night, in the silence, when Valentine and Nahara are visited by familiar torments of both pursuit, falling, and desperation, in a far-flung alien mountain, in a single ominous, solid white, unblinking eye, you two find yourselves brought back to consciousness and alone to talk, as you often do in times like this.
You know, so many times I think that if you weren't around to also be awake, I would absolutely go mad every night.
You know, I've been spending nights like this for a while now, and I'd love to say you get used to it.
Well, there's no reason to not appreciate being able to speak to somebody else, as we often do.
Oh, honestly, this is really great. I just wish I could tell you that when I'm not around, it's going to get easy.
It's never easy here, is it?
Nahara, does the name Strahd von Zarovich mean anything to you?
I haven't encountered him myself, and I don't know too much about him, but from what Brother Uriah has told me, somehow I'm of some importance to him, and I don't know why, and to be honest, it frightens me a bit.
Do you know what kind of importance? Does his interest care that you live or wish to see you not?
I would assume it would be to live, from what I can gather, but what would he want from me?
I don't know. But
What?
he has a friend of mine somehow. I saw her. She's wandering here in something in between. She's dead, but she's not like us. And I don't know why. But she is somehow with Strahd.
he has a hand in her being there?
It seems like it. She said that he wants to help her in some capacity, but if I could get to him, if I could find a way to offer something, make a deal, maybe he could bring her back to me, to us, to everybody. She doesn't deserve to be there. It doesn't make any sense. You and I died,
Right.
and so did she, but
But she's not like us, you say.
no, she was a
Mrs.
ghost, which sounds absolutely silly, to be honest, but hell,
Was
I'm a
this the
Walking
f-
Dead person.
Was this the friend that you spoke of before from the wedding?
Nika.
I'm sorry for your friend. I know that you care about her. And if I can tell you something, I have reasons in which I want to find Strahd myself. And so if I could help you in any way, know that you have my help.
Well, if he's particularly interested in you, maybe there's a way to reach out.
Perhaps. But I don't gather any good feeling about it.
I haven't gathered a good feeling in a while. At least this one could have hope attached to it.
It would be nice to have any hope to hold on to.
I'd do anything, Nahara.
I know you seem very aloof at times, but I know that you have a good heart, and I know that you care about your friend. And I know you'll make that face. It's
I do
all right.
care.
I won't tell anyone.
I wouldn't let you. We have to try.
And
We will.
here in the darkness, continuing to plot and strategize about how you might gain the attention and ear of a certain Count Strahd von Zarovich is a good place for us to stop.